Okay, now I will jump into my share again. All right, well, thank you again for joining this morning for the HubSpot AEO answer engine optimization demo. This is Demand Gen Hug. So we are a topic-based HubSpot user group, all about B2B use cases within HubSpot. My name's Miranda Jenkins. I'm a demand generation specialist with a demand generation agency called Boundify, based here in Greenville, South Carolina. We have a Latin America arm in Mexico, and then we have our US agency based here in Greenville. So we are a B2B demand generation agency, but we're also a HubSpot Gold partner. So we used to lead the Greenville location-based HubSpot user group, but then transitioned to be a more topic-based group mid last year, I believe, and mainly just so that we could really dive into B2B specific use cases within HubSpot. So today for AEO, we're going to be talking about why AI search matters. What is answer engine optimization, AEO versus traditional SEO, how AI search works, creating AI-friendly content, and then diving into the platform for the actual AEO workspace overview and how to set it up and all that. And again, my name's Miranda Jenkins. There's my email and my LinkedIn connection. I'm happy to connect with any of you after the event. And if you have any specific questions that I didn't cover, or any resources that you'd like after the event, please feel free to jot my email down and send me an email. I'd be happy to give you some more information. So getting into a little bit of why we're talking about this today. I think it's been very obvious for the last year that search behavior is starting to change. People searching on, typically on Google before, looked like typing in specific queries that match to keywords, and then browsing and clicking on different websites that came up as the result, comparing their search results. But today, more and more, it's looking like people typing in more conversational questions into AI platforms and getting an AI generated recommendation as an immediate answer. Research is showing that buyers are using AI earlier in the research process, and more buyers are going to AI for the research process. And AI is influencing their vendor shortlists. They're taking into account what the AI is recommending. And the recommendations they're getting back are shaping their purchase decisions. And like I said, more and more, the traffic from AI platforms is starting to increase. So because of that, how and when you show up in AI search impacts your brand awareness, your category visibility, the consideration stage research of your buyers, your website traffic, your pipeline creation. And if prospects are increasingly discovering their vendor shortlist through AI, then your visibility within the AI platform becomes a competitive advantage. The research is also seeing that the AI referred visitors are different. The visitors that are coming from AI tools often have higher intent. They're consuming more of your content once they land on their website, and they're arriving with more context because the AI response that they got when they first learned about you explained who you are, why you were a good fit, in response to their problem. And so because of that, they're moving through the buying process faster because they're not spending quite as much time in the awareness stage. So what is AEO? AEO stands for Answer Engine Optimization, as I'm sure all of you know going into this. So AEO is the practice of increasing your brand's visibility within the AI generated answers, just like SEO is the practice of, increasing your visibility in search engines. Same thing, just with answer engines. And that covers all of the AI models and many more that continue to be coming out. So covering ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, Claude, AI overviews in Google, all of the above. So key differences to keep in mind: traditional SEO, a lot of the focus was on your SEO ranking and your ranking within the search results. The keywords that you were ranking for mattered the most. You were optimizing for search engines, and you were competing for clicks on, your search result. And the backlinks within your content were really what drove your authority score up and increased your SEO performance. The differences with answer engine optimization is that the focus is really on citations, which is your content being cited as part of the answer in the answer engine. The context that you provide the answer engines on your website within your content is really what matters most for if you're going to be selected as an answer, if you're going to be cited. Answer engine is optimizing for AI models. You're competing for inclusion as a source of the answer, and your expertise and clarity within your content and how you write content, which we'll get into a lot more later in this event, is really what's going to build trust, not only with the human beings consuming your content, but also with the AI models to trust you as a good source to pull from. So bottom line, SEO helps people find your content. AEO is designed to help AI understand and reference your content. So a little bit into how it works. AI doesn't rank the pages the way Google traditionally does, but rather it aggregates its answer from many sources. You can see website content, blogs, product documentation, reviews, your social media posts, community discussions, Reddit threads, things like that, news articles, third-party websites. So it can pull from all of those sources and then aggregate into one, answer. What impacts the AI visibility of your website, your content structure? It's recommended that you have clear answers to questions within your content, logical formatting, H1 headings, H2 headings, have everything laid out very clearly. Question-based headings, we'll get into this more, but the prompts that you're tracking and trying to increase your performance on the prompts are all question-based. So anytime you can use the specific prompt you're trying to show up for as a question-based heading in your content, the more likely it's going to be pulled. Clear FAQ sections are also a really good addition for getting selected. The content relevance, making sure that all of your content, even old pieces, if it has time-specific information in it, updating the information. Having industry expertise, specific use cases tied within your content, in tying it to case studies, reviews, things like that. And then buyer focus topics. Again, just directing your content more towards answering buyer questions rather than explaining product features. And then your brand authority, how AI assesses your brand authority also matters. And the way you can improve that is consistent thought leadership, having your company page, social media posts, but then also tying thought leadership posts to your company page, whether it's your founder, CEO, having those people also producing the same type of content and tying it back to your brand is a great feature. And then just overall having a strong digital presence. So the goal for AI search, it's no longer about ranking number one as the result. It's about becoming the most useful and trusted source for the AI to pull their answer from. So now getting into HubSpot specific, the new AEO workspace. So HubSpot just recently released the AEO workspace to help provide visibility into how AI platforms are perceiving your brand. So the AEO dashboard gives you a live dashboard tracking the AI conversations that you're showing up for and the ones that matter to you that you select with your prompts. And it gives you all of the normal like HubSpot report, built-in HubSpot performance reporting in it that we'll get into. So with the HubSpot AEO workspace, you can track your brand visibility across different AI engines. You can monitor the AI citations, which is what answers you've been included in, and you can actually like see the answer and read through it. It helps you identify topics where you're being referenced, compare your visibility against competitors, and then also understand where opportunities exist. So it's going to show you what content and what topics of yours are being referenced, but also where you're not being referenced and why and what you can do about it. It not only gives you visibility into the answer engine performance, but it also shows which models your brand appears in, which prompts are triggering the citations, how often your competitors are mentioned, and it's also giving you insights in the context of your CRM. So HubSpot integrates AEO into your existing marketing workflow. It's going to show you your content gaps, your missing topic coverage, optimization opportunities, and then it'll also tie the source of contacts coming from AI answer engines. As I kind of mentioned before, there's a lot of platforms emerging for AEO, and it is like a new and upcoming thing. There's a lot of other solutions where you can find this information. And I would say if there's things that when you're getting into it and using it, if there's things that you feel like the HubSpot AEO platform is lacking, definitely explore other opportunities. I can say that I don't work for HubSpot, but I would say if you're using HubSpot as your content engine, if you're using Marketing Hub to produce your content and you're using HubSpot as the CRM, the fact that the AEO workspace and the insights you're getting from AEO, it's happening within that platform is a huge advantage. Just being able to tie it all together directly in the same platform. So getting into a little bit of the workspace setup, if you go to the marketing tab and AEO in HubSpot, the very first thing you'll do is you'll add your brand details, confirming your brand name, domain. You can track multiple domains. So you'll set it up for the first one and then you can track additional domains and it keeps everything separated. You'll choose 3 to 5 competitors that your buyers are comparing you against. and then you'll review the suggested prompts that HubSpot recommends that you start tracking. And it recommends those based on your CRM and also all of the data about your content. And then first things you'll do, the reporting information will let you check your visibility baseline. You'll be able to review where your brand's appearing, where your competitors are appearing, what sources AI is using. The sentiment, we'll get into this, but the sentiment analysis is really cool. It's showing you not only where you're showing up, but how you're being viewed, if it's, a positive or negative. And then you can prioritize quick wins and optimize and monitor. And then I think, yeah, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into the platform and kind of click around and show you. Can someone just confirm that you can now see my HubSpot tab rather than the presentation? Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, so we'll go here, marketing, AEO. You'll see that the AEO section is in beta. So the AEO feature is included in Marketing Hub Professional and Marketing Hub Enterprise. With Professional, you can track up to 25 prompts daily across 3 engines, which is ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity. And then Enterprise gives you 50 prompts daily across the same 3 engines. If you don't have either of those platforms, you can get access to it they have it as a standalone feature for free or starter. The add-on is $50 a month starting, and it includes the full AEO feature, but it starts at $50 a month, and I think that gives you the access that like the professional tier would get with 25 prompts daily. If you already have enterprise or professional and you don't see AEO as an option, since it's still in beta, the way you opt into the beta is if you just come here at the top and then you come down to product updates. You can see which betas you're included in, but then also you can look through all of the live betas. So you can just search for HubSpot AEO and join the beta if you don't already see it. Okay, so just a little bit, just to kind of click around directly in the platform so you know where everything is. Again, as I'm going through things, if you have specific questions, drop them in the chat. So this is kind of like the dashboard overview. Let me get this out of my way so I can see. Okay, perfect. So the first thing you'll see is your brand metrics. It's going to show your brand visibility. Our demo account has some work to do. So it's going to give you like a score on your brand visibility, and then it's going to break down the visibility by platform. This is that sentiment analysis that I was talking about, where it scores the sentiment of the responses you're getting, whether positive or negative. And then so the dashboard, you can kind of think of like how every HubSpot feature, the ads feature, has kind of that analyze section. That's what this is, where it's all the pre-built-in reports to keep an eye on. And then prompts right here. This is showing all of the prompts that you're tracking. Sorry, the meeting chat keeps popping up and covering my whole screen over and over. So this lists out all of the prompts that you're tracking. You can put in your own prompts by the add prompts there in the corner. You can, type in searches that you want to track to see how you're showing up for them. But then there's also all of the AI recommended prompts. So the prompts are actual like searches that have been made in platforms. And so the AI suggested ones, you know, I was trying to think how to explain this before going in, but you can think about it like search volume for keywords. So with the AI suggested prompts, you know that there is volume of people searching for those questions because they're being selected by questions that have been asked in answer engines that your products match for. Whereas if you're adding um, custom manual prompts, you're assuming there's people searching for those, but there may not be. So I would say if you're adding in custom manual prompts, just kind of make it a regular routine to go back and review them and make sure that there's actual like volume of people looking for that. So you can see the prompt and then you can scroll over, see your visibility percentage for that prompt. It's going to tie it to the products and services you have in HubSpot for what you want to show up for. Your ideal customer profile, if you have one set up, the buying journey phase that person, that query would show up in the location that it was searched. And then any of the prompts that you, so like say you add in your 25 max for professional, and then you realize that there's some you like aren't showing up for or you don't want to track, you can edit any of them and you can delete them. Um, each one, you'll tie it to an ideal customer profile. If you have multiple ones, then you can edit them, you can change it. And then same thing with products and services. You can tie it to any of the products and services that you have in your portal. And then this is where it's going to show you the actual response. So on one where you like have visibility, you can see when an example of like when the question was asked and the answer that it came up with and how you were cited in it and all of that. The citations is just giving you more kind of reporting around when you were cited versus your competitors. It also gives you the compensation of the citation. So if what type of your content was cited and how many, what percentage your blogs were cited over the homepage of your website and so on. And then it also shows it by channel. And then this is like the overview of top citations within your product category. So who that they're considering as within your product category is being cited the most. And then the recommendations tab is really cool, especially if you're using HubSpot as your content engine. So if your blog is hosted within HubSpot, then this is a really cool feature where this is going to show you kind of the content gaps and how you can improve your ranking in AEO. So it's going to give you the title of content it's recommending, the type of content that it is, post, social post, article, blog, so on, what channel they recommend that you distribute it on, priority ranking scale of how important it is to do it sooner. And then you can actually assign it in the platform. It works a lot like HubSpot tasks, where your content lead can go in and assign it to team members to create those pieces of content. So if I were to come down and say I wanted to create one of these articles, trying to find a blog. That's what I was. Okay, so here this shows like net new content. So top paid media demand generation services for SaaS. This is linking it to our Boundify website. It's going to give you the title of the content that it recommends, the summary of the content, the competitors that you'll be, competing with for this type of piece of content. And then it's going to show the associated prompts that this piece of content would be pulling resources from. So this is where it's great to include these question-based headings directly from the prompt, just to increase your chance that you'll show up as an answer. And then right here, once you've created the piece of content, then you'll go to this content tab. I don't know why my HubSpot is not. Okay, it's not letting me click on it for some reason, but the content, yeah, here we go. So once you create your blog post, it's going to appear here, and then it's going to show your impact directly here. So once you'll see the recommendation, what you should do, why you should do it. You'll create the piece of content, and then it's going to directly show you the impact that creating it is having, and the improvement on your visibility score. So again, if you're already using HubSpot as your content engine, you're already using it, as your marketing engine, and you're creating content within HubSpot, then it just makes sense to track, your AEO and your answer engine visibility within the platform, where it can automatically tie all of that together. The only other thing I was going to touch base on here in the platform is if you're brand new to AEO, I'd recommend this Learn AEO feature here in the top corner. It's going to give you like lessons to work through, similar to the HubSpot Academy, lessons and certifications. And it has a video for each one, so you can work through them. And it's definitely a great feature if you're still, starting out trying to figure out how everything works. All right, so I think that was everything I was going to go over in the platform. So if we don't have any specific questions, then I'll jump back into my slides. Hopefully you can still see my screen now that I'm sharing the slides instead. So now we're going to talk through a little bit about how to create AI-friendly content. So I've talked a little bit about it already. Number one, write like you're answering questions. Include questions in a lot of your headings in the body, and starting with things like what is, how does, why should, etc. Make sure you have clear structure to your content. Utilize those H1, H2, and H3 headings, using bullet points, including an FAQ section. And then also just having concise summaries, having like a takeaway section at the bottom, and an overview section at the top, is just, you definitely don't want to, go overboard and write your content specifically for AI engines rather than human beings. But a lot of the like easy scannability that makes content perform well for AI engines also works well for humans because we have limited attention spans. Make sure to take advantage or look for opportunities to demonstrate your expertise. Include specific examples and frameworks. Obviously, original insights is a big thing. And then real world experience, anytime you can tie in like actual reviews or case studies in your content is great. And then keep your content fresh. So regularly updating time-sensitive information, even going back to old content and having a routine of reviewing your old content and making any updates to keep it relevant because the AI models can pull information from content, from however far back. Especially if it's statistics, anything number based, your product information, if things have changed, and then also tying it to if you have an old piece of content that can be tied to new industry trends. That's a great. And yes, the recording, the slides and the recording will be emailed out to everyone after the session. And then I'll get to this like little bit longer question here in just a second, once I get through the next slides. So lastly, just kind of wrapping things up, I just included some questions to kind of reflect on for if your team is ready for AEO. Here's some things you can think through. First of all, is content readiness. Are we creating content that directly answers our buyers' questions already? Do our blogs, landing pages, and resources include clear, concise answers and FAQs? How often are we updating our highest performing content? And then authority and visibility. So beyond your website, are there places where expertise is being published and cited in other ways? Are subject matter experts active on LinkedIn, podcasts, webinars, or industry communities? These are those other employees within the company, whether that's a CEO, a founder, a marketing director, etc., that are also creating content, to tie in. And then would AI engines find evidence that we are a trusted source in our space? Are we already, creating content that positions us as a trusted source? Can we identify, for data and measurement, can we identify traffic and conversions coming from AI-powered search today? If you're using HubSpot AEO, then the answer is yes. As soon as you set it up and link your domain, you'll be able to track traffic and conversions coming from the AI platforms. Do we know which brands we want to, or what topics we want our brand to be associated with in AI answers? Again, if you set up the HubSpot AEO workspace, then yes. And then are we tracking visibility in AI platforms alongside with traditional SEO metrics? And then lastly is operational readiness. What content would we want AI to surface about our business? And then do we have a process for acting on the insights from the AEO workspace? And then who owns AI search visibility across marketing, content, and RevOps? So the resources, I just wanted to, before I get to these questions, mention that I did link the Implementing HubSpot AEO certification with HubSpot here. Definitely would recommend taking it if you haven't already and you're planning on using the AEO workspace or you're diving into it more, mostly because it includes this AI readiness assessment workbook and an AEO implementation plan outline as resources of the certification. Totally free, you can download them. But they're really helpful if you're just getting started out to make sure that you're getting started out on the right foot and covering everything you need to, like operationally, to get started using AEO. All right, let's get into some of these questions. So I built my profile and it shows a number of services products, but only allows me to choose one. I selected the one I'm more interested in, but want to add the others. When I click select service, I can't select any of the other preloaded one. It makes me manually create a new one. Yeah, I have the same thing in the demo account where I could only select one. And we have the marketing professional platform or a subscription in our demo account. I think it has something to do with that. I don't know for sure because that's not included in the like list of things you're given on each tier. But that's my best guess. I would definitely dig into a little more with HubSpot, especially if you have a HubSpot rep, reach out to and ask if you want more, products to be able to add how you would do that. But I think it has to do with which tier, of hub that you have. And I also added a new service and it's not also grayed out on the list. I can't select it. Yeah, I think to be honest with you, off the top of my head, I don't know. I noticed that when I set up our demo account to share this, that I could only select one as well. So if you want to have multiple that you can select, would definitely recommend to reach out to your HubSpot rep or just like the HubSpot help to get more insights into that. And then if the website is hosted outside of HubSpot, will AEO HubSpot features still be a valid tool? Yes, absolutely. Everything will work the same even if your HubSpot or even if your website is hosted outside of HubSpot. The one thing that might be slightly different is the tracking with contacts coming in from HubSpot or coming in from AEO platforms of tagging them with that source in HubSpot. But if you have all of your analytics tracking set up properly in your other, in your website, and you're properly tracking if people are coming from paid search or paid social, that kind of thing, then it should work properly. It'll just automatically work properly if your website is hosted in HubSpot. Awesome. All right. Even the content creation and the improvements will also be created. So that is where you can actually tie a blog post. Let me show you here. Where you're selecting. This is automatic. So it's hard to show in our demo account because we don't have like a blog set up in it, but this will automatically pull the post from your website when you upload it. You can't actually select it. So if you use the like title that it recommends, meta description, all of that, then it'll automatically sync it and pull from your other website. This generate blog post button, that goes to HubSpot. So if you were to do it straight from here and generate blog posts, it's going to go to the HubSpot content feature. How will it work outside of the US, UK? Will all features work for local languages? Yeah, it does automatically update for local languages. It's going to show the prompts and the citations in the languages that the browser, that the person searching it, what the language that their browser was set to, and the language that they have their AI model set to. Great questions, everyone. it's always like hit or miss if we get any questions with these events. So I love it. I love the questions. Um, if you think of anything else, feel free to drop them in. I'll also mention real quick, we already have our next event set up, and this one's going to be an exciting one. So it's September 29th, and it's all about using TikTok ads effectively for B2B and specifically B2B focused. And we are going to be joined by two experts from TikTok ads. So I'm going to be kind of like hosting the event, but they're going to be diving into all of the details, and it should be really informative. Using TikTok for B2B is something that's a newer, it's talking a lot about the TikTok ads connection on HubSpot. And how to really take advantage of that, and strategies around setting up ad campaigns and audience targeting specifically for B2B. So I think it's going to be really helpful. This is an actual link. So when I send out the slide deck, you can click it right there and go ahead and register. And then yes, my LinkedIn link is also included on my intro slide at the beginning of the slide deck that I'll send out. And I'd love to connect with you. Love to connect with all of you. And we do demand gen hug events every 2 months. And again, we love input. So if you have specific B2B use cases that you'd like to see, explained within HubSpot, please connect with me on LinkedIn, send me a message, send me an email. We definitely want to be doing these events around topics that you want to learn about. So awesome. Well, I think that is everything. So thank you so much for everyone for joining. Again, the recording will be on YouTube. The slides will be emailed out to everyone. And hope to see all of you in September for our TikTok ads event. Thanks so much.